Hello, America. Hi, everyone. How you doing today? What's going on? Hope you're having a good one. Today is May the 24th, 2023. Beautiful day out there. I was just out and about doing some stuff, so enjoying it. It's getting warmer, that's for sure. It's going to be summertime really soon. Um, I know I've brought this topic up before, and it seems like it just keeps coming back around. There's some serious conversations going on with Americans across America right now, and so we'll just tackle them one at a time. Right now, I'm going to go to the homeless issue and my kind of my status, my personal status, my comments behind it, and as Americans, just what we can do to start to solve the problem. The one thing I will talk about that people will probably relate to right now is people are making videos, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, and what they're doing is just driving around with their iPhones and filming um, homeless people camped along the side of the sidewalk, and they're yelling out, reprimanding these homeless people from the cars, yelling out the window like, "That's against the law! Pull up your pants!" And just messing with them, man. Just and just keeps driving by, and the safety of your vehicle behind your iPhone, you have no problem making rude comments and putting down people who are already down. Like, that makes you so great. Like, oh yeah, look at me. I can sure put down people and kick on them while they're pretty much down, and I can do it from my car while I'm driving away, so I don't have to talk or even have anything to do with these people except for just yell out the window what I want to say. They're all negative, kind of things from what I'm hearing individuals say. And a lot of just reprimanding, just like, you can't do that, and just general public harassment. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It doesn't take a genius to do that. It just takes a person of hate and wanting attention to do that, which is sad because these are just Americans who are being cowards in a lot of ways. You're just being a coward, especially in the car with your iPhone and driving, and is yelling stuff out the window, and not taking any kind of accountability or responsibility for what you're saying or what you're doing. You're just doing it, like, I'm going to show them, and that's. Well, that's not a solution if that's what you're thinking. Like, that's just you being selfish and narcissistic and trying to draw attention to yourself by picking on other people. Do you understand what I'm saying there? You're not being helpful at all. You're just a hater. And you want people to cheer you on and say, yeah, go hate on them. Oh dear. Why? And and this next thing I'm going to say is like what I always say, why don't you pick on some other people? Why don't you pick on politics? Why don't you go drive by their house with your iPhone and yell at them for making political mistakes, and stuff like that. I mean, that takes courage. You get arrested for doing that. You get charged, for harassing people. If you were to start just harassment, and if you just want to go out and harass people, try harassing, like I said, rich people. See what happens. See if you get the same response from homeless people. Does that make sense now? Am I making sense? So, anyways, this is a solution. And first, let me give you a little bit of my background. I have been friends with homeless people for a lot of years. I mean, most of my life I've known a homeless person or two. And even now I have a couple of friends that are homeless. And they kind of vanish and they'll pop back up. So over the last couple of years, I hang out with these couple of these homeless people, and talk, have conversations with them, find out what's going on, find out what their first name is. I mean, and kind of take it from there. I never feel threatened. I never feel like like I want to reprimand them or put them down, for being homeless. And I'm not showing up with a bunch of money either, saying, "Oh, here, I'm gonna go out and buy you something." I don't do that either. I have nothing to really offer, except just a conversation. I offer dignity and a spark of hope for these individuals that are homeless. Now that's a solution. Try doing that. Try getting out of your car and talking to these people one-on-one and see what happens. Be open-minded. Find out what's going on, man. Really. So, anyways, part of the solution, and this is the biggest complaint I've heard, is I've knocked on tent doors. And I've talked, and they come out and I talk to them. And they get random, people living in tents. And I've done that. I have knocked randomly on tent doors, just to talk and be helpful. But not in the way that you think I'm being helpful. I'm being helpful on a different level. And so after having many conversations, this is what I've gathered so far that I think that would be the most, and if you were to talk to them too, take the time and have enough love and compassion and, to talk to these individuals, you'll eventually find out what would work best for them. And if anybody knows what's going to work best for a homeless person, is a homeless person. Right? It's not someone who's not homeless, doesn't know the ins and outs of the whole day and the battlefield they live on, that spiritual battlefield they have to live in. That's like in the trenches, beyond the trenches of that. The thing is that not all of them. This is, it's just, I can only speak for a certain percentage of them, just need to be left alone. That's all. That's all they're asking for. So they can start getting their stuff, so they can slowly start getting their act together. But if they keep being forced by society into this fear factor of, I don't know what's going to happen the next day. I don't know what's going to happen the next day. I don't know where I'm going to be. So they can't really focus on the things they should be doing to improve their life. So, and there's one city that's offering to spend like a few $1 billion, to house, these homeless people. I don't think that's going to solve anything either, except for taxpayers paying a few $1 billion or wherever the money's coming from, to make that happen. Because that's not really, it's kind of a solution, but kind of not a solution. You know, what they need, and let me repeat it in a better way, and let me just say it flat out: they need to be left alone. They need to be able to set up somewhere with their tent and know that they can stay there for 30 days, 60 days if they have to, 3 months, you know. Rather than having to think like, oh, I'm here for a week until they come in and clean us all up and kick us all out, and then I'm going to be somewhere else. And so it's like keeping the oppressed people very, very, very oppressed because we constantly keep them moving. We don't want them around. We don't want to look at them. We don't want to see them. We want them off our streets, and I don't blame people for thinking that. And these little tent cities that formulate and parks, the people that live around that area do not want that either. Nobody wants a homeless encampment by their house or within probably a mile within their house. I mean, because there's so much distrust and so much like judgment placed on them, that people just can't be okay with that, to just be left alone. So, anyways, what I'm thinking as an American tier in solutions, instead of spending billions, we may have to spend a couple of million instead of billions to make this project happen. But it's still the best baby step for the homeless people. And unfortunately, yes, they're going to be living in tents. They're going to be living in your city and in your community. And we need to have areas, pockets where they can actually do that and stay there. I mean, just stay there until they can work their way out. And the closer to community services, public libraries they are, the better. Public facilities, they are. If they can get from their tent to, a place to use the restroom and wash themselves off, within a certain, a block distance, then it's doable. But if they have to go 10 blocks out of the way, they're probably not going to do that. So they're not going to really be all that interested in cleaning themselves up, and start to work their way back into society. Instead of just being oppressed and walking around and asking for money. I don't approve of it. It happens. I know they need money. I just am not I used to be very, very okay with that. But nowadays I'm iffy about giving homeless people money. Especially if they can walk and talk and they show that they're kind of there in their head mentally. Think like, you got to do something else. I haven't told them yet, but my mind says, I would give you a little bit of change if you gave me a painted rock that said, be nice on it, or, some crappy piece of artwork on a little piece of paper, I just buy that. I would just buy that rock from you. I just buy your artwork from me, for $1, and knowing that you put your time and energy into making, crafting these little things, so little trinkets that are pretty much for free, and to turn into the cash, a few dollars. You're kind of working for it in a slow way, instead of just with nothing and just saying, hey man, you got any change? You got any change? I'm like, man, come on. Can't you see the market is as saturated with people who want money? And you need to be a little bit more innovative, a little bit more creative. If you're going to be a good homeless person and want money and need to make money, from random people, then be creative. because there's a lot of people that are just asking for money. So you have to step up in your game, level up. And that solution I'm talking about, before I got kind of caught up in that, is talking. After I've talked and had conversations with these people, the thing is that they need to know that when they leave their tent to go apply for a job, or to go look for a job, or to go take care of maybe even a little bit of laundry if they can, that their home is still going to be there, that they can still go back to their tent, because that is their home. And if it's going to be mowed down by the city, or other tent people around them, which I don't think the community of homeless people are really attacking each other, but I'm sure they have their disagreements. But without anybody really kind of going through their tent. That's why when they leave their tent, most of them have backpacks with all their valuables in that backpack. They just can't leave it there, for people to go inside their tent and take it. But the point is that from what I'm hearing is that they need time. They need to know that once they set up that tent somewhere, that they're going to be okay and they can work it from there. If they have to take the bus from that location to a different location, they'll figure that out. But like I said, the closer to, major facilities like the public library, and community centers where they can freely go in and create that art I was just talking about for free. All the supplies are there. Everything is there. All they have to do is just show up and just kind of do it. Maybe they have to sign in. But for free of charge, they can create the little bitty art things to go and hit the streets with if they have to, if they want to, and try to sell their little artwork instead of just asking for money. That's my suggestion to them. And what I want to hear from other people is that the easier it is for them to get through their daily life of being homeless, the faster they could stop being homeless. But we keep forcing them to stay homeless because we just want, we want to get rid of them, but we get rid of them, but they just go somewhere else, so they really can't get out of being homeless. Does that make sense? So that's why I say it may cost a little bit of money, may cost the city a little bit of money, and may cause, cost the people that are around that area to be okay with it for a little while. And so, the more public facilities you can add to it, which is where the money comes into, like, porta potties, have the Meals on Wheels truck show up every day, at a certain time to help feed, have the public library show up in their mobile public thing. Anything that has a public service that is mobile, they should show up. Medical services, dental services. I mean, they may, like I said, they can probably do only this much, but that's all we need to do to start to help, to help people help themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. Not to just freely give them stuff, but it's the small things that we're going to help them so they can slowly grow out of it and work their way out of it. There's some pretty smart people living in tents right now, believe it or not. And I know it's something you're not thinking about right now. So that's part of a good solution for the American Cheer movement is talk to these homeless people. Figure out what's going on. What would be the best tool for them to help themselves? Not so they get this, a constant freeloading handouts so they can just stay there, but if they could rely on the fact that they know that where they're going to sleep that night, then they could spend that day being productive just a little bit, being positive just a little bit, to move forward just a little bit, because this is like, these aren't things that are going to happen overnight in a snap. And these are, people are up against some adversities that they have to crawl through, walk through, run through on their own. And we as Americans can be there to assist this change, but the change has got to happen with them. All we can do is provide the platform, the working grounds, and instead of the city spending billions, they may have to spend some money. They have to hire some security, to keep things cool. Have extra police patrol, not to go there and harass people, but just in case there is, some kind of domestic breakout in one of these tent towns, tent cities, whatever you want to call them. So I mean, I'm speaking from my real experience. I'm speaking like me being boots on the ground, hands on. I don't know what other people are talking about out there. I don't think they're talking the same thing I'm talking about. I don't think they really have had these conversations that I've had. And I'm telling you right now, as American Tears, they do need help, but not in what you're thinking, and definitely not being hateful. That's not helpful. Golly, I go on and on and on, especially when it comes to the homeless thing. Because I have some true boots on the ground, hands-on perspective of that situation, and that's all I really need to say for right now. There's a lot more to talk about that American Tears need to act out on, and that's the one thing I just wanted to talk about again. We can come up with working solutions that would be helpful for them and us. If you would just join the American Tears, let us unite so we can create these changes and to make, help save America in a good way, really healthy way. Golly, wowee. Oh man, I could just go on and on and on, but I'm not. Stopping right there. Stop it, Michael. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. We'll talk more about other things and this homeless issue more as we move along. You can leave a comment if you want to, or a thumbs up, whatever. Subscribe. It all sounds good to me. Whatever you want to do. If you just watch this video, you are meant to watch this video. You are meant to hear the words that I just talked about, because that's something you need to know. Okay? Thanks again. Have an excellent day. Be good. Eat well. Get some exercise. Peace. Love. We'll talk later. Bye.